All right, from Wisconsin to Washington and state capitals and beyond, Republican lawmakers at all levels of government are looking to cut spending. In Wisconsin, some argue the cuts are too deep, hence the protest. Elsewhere, folks are wondering if the cuts will ever really materialize or if they're just making for some snappy sound bites. All topics tackled by our next guest, Keith Larson, host of the Keith Larson Show on WBT 1110 AM in Charlotte. Welcome back, Keith. Great to see you.
Hey, Shannon, great to see you. I haven't seen you since the big announcement a few weeks ago, so let me officially extend greetings from Charlotte, which President Obama hopes will become the capital of a new Democratic South beginning in 2012, you know, with the convention.
The big convention, I'm hoping you'll save me a guest room or something and I can come hang out with the Larsons.
Yeah, sure. We'll rent it out, but to you, come on down.
All right, family rates, hopefully. All right, so you've been talking to folks about what's happening all across the country. Here in Washington, a lot of late nights for the House. They finally passed, funding just to get us through this year with $61 billion in cuts. It's something the Speaker talked about, read my lips. But are your listeners out there buying it that those cuts will ever actually happen?
Yeah, John Boehner went read my lips, which is kind of the double dog dare in politics anymore, which leaves only the triple dog dare, which of course is bring it on or make my day if you go retro. I'll tell you what, Shannon, honestly, the people are so far ahead of the politicians on this. They are so wise to the trouble that we're in with the debt. And I'm telling you, they want to see cuts. They want to see this national debt, $14 trillion. They know this has to come down. So they're looking for results.
Are they worried at all? Are you hearing them talk about the possibility of a government shutdown? Because we know the current funding runs out March 4th. The Senate's out this week, so they're not working on it. The Democrats keep bringing this up, saying that the Republicans are going to lead us to shut down the government. But Republicans keep saying we're not using the word shutdown. You have any chatter on that?
Honestly, I think that's more swirl in Washington and politics. I mean, okay, maybe there's a shutdown, but people street level know. I mean, it's not like we're not going to have the military. It's not like we're not going to have air traffic control. They'll find a way to deal with that. That's all sort of the game on the way to getting to the actual results. And believe me, people do want to see this budget start to get in line. Too many people have had to manage their own budgets these last several years in particular and bring them in line, and it shows up in savings rates versus spending. And they want the government at every level to follow suit.
All right. Speaking of government and those who are elected to do a specific job, it's time for an Alvin Greene update because he had his hat in the ring, his name back on the ballot in South Carolina this weekend. What was that all about? And did you catch up with your special friend, Alvin?
Well, yeah, I did catch up with Alvin this week. He had said he was going to run for president, actually as a Republican, because he was mad at Democrats for not supporting him against Jim DeMint. But then he jumped in his own local House seat. The representative died. So there was an open seat. There was a special election, 4 candidates on the Democratic side. Alvin jumped in. He got clobbered. He came in fourth out of the 4. I did catch up with him and talk with him this week about his future.
Like I said, this is a kind of a working process, and
working process. What does that mean?
Yeah,
What's the process? What are you working
on? I've just been into this less than a year now, and
so what comes next? What's the rest of the process? What comes next?
Well, we just have to run the right race at the right time, and that's it.
The right race at the right time.
Yep, and that's it. All right, I'm busy. I'm trying to got a lot of things going on now. All right, it's nice talking to y'all, and just stay in touch. All right.
Yeah, he was busy. He had the Daytimer and the Franklin Planner and the iPhone. A lot of stuff was going off. I don't know how long I can keep talking with Alvin, Shannon, honestly, but he keeps running for stuff, and it sounds like he might again. So.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he's done, and I know there is at least one website calling for him to run for president in 2012. Keith, if that happens, we'll be talking to you a lot more. Great to see you today, Keith. Thank you.
Happy to see you.
All right, another big race that may happen could show Sheriff Joe Arpaio out of Arizona become Senator Arpaio. He says that he could easily raise enough money to win John Kyle's Senate seat. You'll remember this week that the senator announced he's going to retire after this term. Well, now the sheriff is weighing his options. Other contenders include Arizona Congressman Jeff Flake, who's already said that he is in. J.D. Hayworth could also jump in. He lost a race against John McCain in 2010 and was endorsed by Arpaio. We're going to get the story straight from the sheriff himself. because coming up in the next hour, he's going to join us on America's News Headquarters. Israel is keeping a very close